Welcome to the Non-Essential Podcast. I'm Steve Gibson.
I'm Ben Matlock.
Yes, you are.
Hey.
You are correct, sir.
Hey, everybody. It's Ben Matlock here, and we're going to talk about toilets and what yours says about you.
Oh, man. It says nothing good. It's seen me at my worst and at my best, which is also my worst.
I'm sure I either talked about it on this show or a video game podcast way back in the day, but I had a friend who had a bathroom that was supposed to be pink, and it was instead very black and brown. And like we would be at his fucking house drinking. It was a great like basement to drink. It was just the fucking bathroom. It was awful, and it smelled as bad as you imagine. It is a creepypasta setting. Because you open the door and it's just black, and I am not exaggerating. To not go in there, but you still had to piss.
Yes.
And it only made things worse, but this was survival. You would try to arc your piss from 3 feet away. Because you just couldn't get closer.
I nearly shit my pants because I sure as hell didn't want to sit down.
Yeah,
there.
when you're sincerely weighing those options, where you're like, it might just be better to piss myself and just say I got too drunk. I had one friend who did get sick in there, and it was...
It got sicker.
I mean, to be fair, we warned him. We said, if you drink all that, you're going to throw up, and this is not the bathroom to throw up in.
So did your friend who owned the bathroom,
he cleaned it one time in the entire time I knew him.
But I mean, when you're to that point where you're out loud being don't go in that bathroom, it's disgusting, and he was just cool with that, yeah, it is.
No, he was he was really funny because I've still to this day never met anybody with his kind of attitude. Where it's you could tell him something like that. I was like, dude, your bathroom sucks. And he's like, I know it fucking sucks. What am I supposed to do about it? just angry helplessness.
Well, you know what? I kind of identify with that.
I mean, there was some truth to it where it was it's too fucking far gone now. What should I do? It was really funny.
I know that feeling, as far as not the bathroom thing, because I've had some pretty bad... cleaning the bathroom is not my favorite thing, but I don't know too many people that are yes, I love to clean a bathroom.
Yeah. But
you just do it. But I've had, our old house especially, it was 700 square feet, so it got cluttered real fucking easy. One trip to the store, you come home and you're like, well, shit, there's stuff everywhere now because there's nowhere to put it. And you'd get to the point where we weren't ever to the hoarders on TV point, but there were times where you felt like that, and you'd go to clean and you'd spend 20 minutes just trying to figure out where to start, and then you'd just be like, fuck it, I don't I don't even know how to start this process. So I get that.
Yeah, totally. But, I've been overwhelmed by cleaning, and bathrooms especially suck because it's what do I start with? The fucking shower? What, because if you're like me, you kind of have to do it all at once. You don't I'll clean the toilet today and come back. It's
well, right, because it takes me 6 months to actually get motivated to clean it. So if you clean one thing at a time, you're not getting it anywhere.
I did have this Kaboom shit, which is a great cleaner where you would spray it and it would just it was the fucking shit. If you ever played that last Prey game, there's this glue gun that just encases these monsters.
Yeah.
And it's this was the same idea with bathroom filth. And it just created this fucking foamy mess, and you just spray it in there and leave it for 15 minutes. And then if you had a detachable shower head, you could just spray all that shit into the drain, and it was fantastic.
And if you don't have a detachable shower head, I'd imagine a flamethrower. That stuff probably ignites like that. It'd just be the same deal. You
you just light a match, throw it in there, and buy a new house.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that the accelerant goes so fast that the stuff underneath, like tile or plastic or whatever surround you have, would stay more or less intact, and the filth would just go with it.
It blows to shit. It is. It is probably mostly thermite.
It's the scene from Lethal Weapon with the toilet bomb. Yeah.
Except more like that's if that were the end of the movie.
Right.
So, welcome to the Non-Essential Podcast. Every week we tell each other stories. They're supposed to be about anything and everything, but they're just creepypastas at this point.
Yeah.
If you're wondering, like, hey, Ben, this is another creepypasta. Do you even care about the show anymore? Not really. I mostly just like this show because we come up with fun t-shirt ideas.
Yeah, you're just using me until you have enough to start your own line of clothing.
Totally.
It'll be picked up by like Hollister or something. I don't know.
I think our shit would work really well in like the skateboarding world.
I do too.
Like a Beelzebuddy deck would probably be pretty fucking rad.
Fuck it. You know what? I don't particularly love my job. I know you don't love yours. Let's open a skate shop.
That'll go well. Those aren't on the downturn.
No, not at all.
The internet totally didn't fuck that business. But no, I do have another story. It's just been a long week. One day I'll bring a real topic again. This one's called My Pal Scout. And if you did this one before, Steve, keep your mouth shut.
I have not.
You would be the only one who knew that. So don't snitch.
You know what would be funny? Because you know what I would do is I wouldn't say anything until you're about 2/3 of the way through. Then I'd blurt out the ending and be like, "We did this one already."
Oh, I remember. It wouldn't change a fucking thing. This would still get posted on Tuesday, and I would just own the embarrassment.
And people would probably appreciate that it ends shorter too. They'd be like,
yeah,
nice."
So let's get into it. Everyone in my family has one thing in common. We all love dogs. They're just so enjoyable, loyal, and all around pleasant to be around. My 5-year-old son is no different. From the time he could talk, he's been constantly asking for a puppy of his very own. I, of course, being a fellow dog lover, would have been happy to oblige, but there is one tiny problem. We live in a suburban apartment complex. It's cozy, but unfortunately, as is often the case with rental property, we aren't allowed to have any pets, which is bullshit. That's a real thing. Like I've been apartment hunting for like 3 years now, and that's a real, like, the amount of places that won't allow pets for the amount you're depositing is fucking absurd. It's like, take that deposit and buy new carpeting, you fuck. Like,
that's the thing, is they always find ways to screw you out of your deposit anyway.
yeah.
Around here, when we initially, when Tara first moved up here, we wanted to rent, and then we realized that it actually cost more to rent than what the mortgage was on our first house.
Yeah.
And so we said, fuck that. And at the time, the market was very friendly to first-time home buyers that had no credit and dead-end jobs. That was before the market got burned and then bailed out, and then now they're going back that way again. But anyway, most of the apartments we found would allow them, but they wanted like a couple $100 more down, and then it was like $30 a month more. You know, they'd tack on a fee for them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So it's bullshit. Of course, this is not the reasoning that would be accepted, let alone understood by a toddler. They're so innocent at this age. I remember trying to explain it to him anyway, even if he didn't entirely understand the logic behind it. To tell you the truth, I'm not entirely sure that I do. I told him that some places have rules and that the people who make these rules have their reasons. In the case of an apartment building, most likely a snub-nosed landlord who can't stand the thought of dogs barking at night or pee stains on their precious cheap carpet. I remember the look on his little face, his big brown eyes wide in questioning wonder. I don't understand. If this is where we live, why can't we do whatever we want here? Exactly, kid. Meth lab. Let's go.
It's a little anarchist. I like it.
Yeah. Look, dude, I pay my fucking rent. Whatever the fuck I make in my bathtub is between me and my Lord God.
Yeah, and Phil, who I sell it to.
Phil don't buy. Phil took one look at it and said, "That whatever that is, that's not meth." But I snort it.
Shit, that's saltwater taffy. You made the wrong thing.
I love a drug dealer or a drug manufacturer who just accidentally keeps making candy.
I'd sell it on the street
Fucking
anyway.
every time a gobstopper. Fuck.
You can still smoke it.
You can. It tastes like poison when you do. More so than the poison we smoke.
Just gotta be an everlasting crack rock out there. Like,
it changes colors as you huff it. I smiled, yet at the same time I couldn't help but feel saddened by his words. We should be able to do what we want, and yet this is the best I can do for him. This guy's going to become Andrew Ryan and, like, make Rapture just in the ocean because he couldn't get a dog. I'm a single parent, and unfortunately my minimum wage salary won't allow me to afford a house for my family. But over the years, my son and I have learned to make do. I patted his shoulder and told him that we would speak of getting a dog one day. I gave that sweet, brown-eyed boy my word. One day I would get him a dog that would change his life. And eventually I did. Oh, did I. Christmas was fast approaching, and as was tradition with our small family of two, my son and I were looking at toys online. It was like window shopping, except what my boy didn't know was that every year Santa would end up getting him one of the toys he saw. Usually this translated to the one that got him the most excited. We sat there at the computer screen, my son on my lap as the homepage to one of his favorite toy stores popped up. Instantly, he was elated, pointing at the various toys and the colorful lettering sprawled across the site. We scrolled down. There was an interesting lineup that year, including the new figurines from the Marvel series, racetracks, and several big-eyed plush bears, which looked a bit too freaky for my taste. Filling in the Christmas spirit, I clicked on the search engine for the site. D-O-G, I typed. Instantly, over 1,000 search results flooded forth. My boy, of course, was delighted to see page after page of interesting and cute puppy toys popping up on the screen in front of him, but none of them prompted that very special reaction that I was looking for in him. That "it's the best toy ever" response. The one that I would plan his secret Christmas gift around. We were on the last page, and I was about to give hope, especially when the results became more centered around toys which simply had the word dog in the title, like Dog the Bounty Hunter action figures or something.
I mean, yeah, anytime you search for anything, by like page 3 or 4, you've kind of like lost the thread of what you're actually looking for. Like,
I got a weird plush of a man that just says Big Dog.
Dog the Bounty Hunter was the first thing I pictured when he said he searched for dog. He was like, "This action figure, Dad, this guy with a sick mullet."
It is a miraculous mullet that a 5-year-old would be mesmerized by.
Mm-hmm. And a 40-year-old.
Fearful, rather.
That's true.
Rather than being actual dog-related toys, such as Barbie dolls that came with paw print t-shirts or puppy pajamas. Just when I was about to give up, I came to the very last toy. It was a green plush puppy, sitting upright like a teddy bear. Its expression was bright and lively, and each of its paws had a different symbol on them, as well as 2 interlocking orange hearts on its stomach. It also had a name tag shaped like a bone. On the tag read the dog's name, Scout. Along with the picture was a listing of interesting features the toy had. I was amazed by what this simple, inexpensive toy was capable of. Apparently, Scout came with a connection cable that would allow you to put all your pornography in. I know. That would allow you to input your child's name, favorite foods, and much more. So it could be. The toy
Every night it would connect to some network and upload information. I don't know what kind.
I don't know how all this got downloaded onto your dog, son. But let me take him into the other room and I'll clean him up. The toy also claimed to be able to encourage children to interact with it. Huh, I thought, can it really do that? I mean, talking toys are one thing, but a toy that actually encourages the child to want to talk back sounded interesting at the very least. I looked down to see what my son's reaction was. I didn't have to look long. His eyes instantly became transfixed upon that little oddly colored pup. I knew that look. Even before he began bouncing up and down and pointing frantically to the computer screen, I had already decided what he was getting for Christmas that year. The big day finally arrived, and my son wobbled out of bed and down the hall. Wobble's a terrible word.
Yeah. He's 5. He should be pretty much walking at that point.
My fat blueberry son wobbled out of bed. It's just something about as a 30-something-year-old wobbler myself.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be described that way.
But I just picture his dad sitting in the living room with a trombone as his son's walking, going, broop, broop, broop. I gave my son an eating disorder for Christmas.
Yeah.
It's just what he wanted.
Worked. It's what my dad did for me. It worked. Wobbled out of bed and down the hall towards the beautifully decorated fake tree we had put in the living room. There weren't that many packages under it, although Lord knows that I had tried my best in saving up as much money as I could in order to make all of his holiday wishes come true. I'll never forget that look on my son's face when he saw our tree. There he was in his rocket-themed pajamas and green bunny slippers, clutching his teddy bear and staring, just staring with the utmost awe, and our simple yet vibrant tree. He rushed to my side and hugged me. "Merry Christmas," I cheered. He cheered. I hated Christmas. No.
I said, get the fuck off me, son.
Get the fuck off me.
This is the worst day of the year.
And the Jack Daniels for me, son.
This is the day your mother left me for Santa Claus.
Yeah, I caught Santa kissing your mother under the Christmas tree one year, and that was the end of that shit.
They'll never find the bodies. Now open your damn presents.
It's just you and me now. Enjoy your dog. He cheered and began digging into his loot. I held my breath as he opened the last box, marked, as I always did with this special toy, "From Santa." The look on his little face rivaled that of his expression when he had seen the tree, as he pulled out that little green puppy named Scout. It was an odd toy. Not in the fact that it was green, or even the fact that you had to program it via internet before it would even work. Well, I don't know when the story was written, but that's like a common thing now. There's like so much shit is attached to the internet.
I know. It's like, I think I bought a pack of socks that you had to update the firmware on.
Yeah, it's like you fucking toilet paper, download the app. Like,
right.
And it's like, I really don't have time to download the app.
This is an emergency.
What's happening here is happening now, and I need the toilet paper to connect, please.
We're just a
the poop fallback, dude. Every time I nail it, it's like a perfect free throw to me. Maybe the
swish,
sound,
except it's more like splish.
It's swish with a splash. Swish splash. I'm taking an ass bath.
That's too long for a t-shirt, but I think we can put it on a poster.
Yeah. Or in our book. We're reading, that would be fucking funny. We're reading stories anyway, and we're transcribing our reading of the stories. Just when we're really fucked.
It'd be the most exciting, yeah.
Maybe this sounds perfectly insane, but I swear that something wasn't right about its eyes. They seemed almost too good to belong to a toy. Sure, they were stitched and adorable, eyes that you would expect to see on a child's plaything, but there was just something in how detailed they were that really stood out to me. But what did I care? My son finally had his dog. He immediately suggested that I program it, and I of course nodded and complied. I booted up the internet and plugged in the USB cable, one end to my computer, the other to Scout. I carefully read the instructions and typed in the web address. A screen popped up. There was a picture of Scout, as well as the female version of the toy, Violet. I remember chuckling to myself at the image because instead of showing the toys, there were two poorly photoshopped puppies on the page. It looked as though someone had literally taken a picture of two cute puppies and used the flood fill tool to color one green and the other purple, Violet's color. I couldn't help but chuckle. My son could have done better. Furthermore, the site itself seemed very sketchy. It looked like one of those freebie sites made by young teens, while its poor spelling and grammar and simple background and tabs. Definitely not what one would expect from a major toy company. But they
It says it's a major toy company.
Yeah, that's, you know. And
maybe that was the name of the toy company. It's Scout from Major Toy Company.
And to be fair, I don't expect much more from, like, Hasbro.
Right.
But they had my money, and I had their toys, so I wasn't about to complain. The first screen popped up. "Welcome," it read, "to your new life with Scout." Cute, I thought. Towards the lower right of the screen, there was a tab marked Next. I clicked it. The next page popped up. It asked me to input my son's information, i.e. his name, favorite food, social security number. No. Favorite color, favorite animal. I did so. The next tab popped up again, and I clicked it. The next page requested that I choose 5 of my son's favorite songs, which I did. The last page popped up. It read, "All done. Enjoy the rest of your life with Scout." The rest of your life is pretty fucking ominous.
Yeah. Like, I can't think of anything that I've bought that I want it to say, like, enjoy the rest of your life with
Enjoy
this.
the end. Enjoy the end
you're
times with your buddy Scout.
Right. It either means that you're stuck with this thing as long as you live, or that you're not going to live that long. Like, one of the two.
The message was a little strange. The rest of your life? Was this supposed to be a cute joke? As if Scout really was a dog that would be sharing my son's life with him? I mean, truth be told, it was a toddler toy. Chances were that in a few short years my son would outgrow it, and his interest would be taken up by some other toy.
A few short years? Bullshit. It's like in a few short hours.
I mean, you know, we talked about it a few episodes ago, I think. Like, I've kept some of my, like, baby toys. I'm sentimental about that shit.
But they don't they don't hold the same interest to you, though, over all that time. Like, you might keep them because you want them.
I don't know.
But
I have a stuffed panda bear that I still dick around with. I just don't hear voices.
It's not anymore. Yeah, they went away after the third Doctor.
Yeah, yeah. Enough shock therapy. He is real, but he's a mute. Chances were that in a few short years my son would outgrow it and his interest would be taken up by some other toy, or possibly a real dog by then. But to say that my son would be spending the rest of his life with Scout, now that was a bit weird. I unplugged the toy and brought it back to my son. I turned it on and handed it to him. He pressed a paw and the toy came to life. "Hi, Adam," it greeted him, its collar flashing with a cheery green light. My son almost rolled over in surprise. He looked up at me, eyes glassy and wide. "He knows my name." I nodded, tears of happiness filling my proud eyes. $25.
Where you sleep and when you sleep.
Yes, he does, son. Yes, he does. I know how to use the internet. What a proud father. I know more than that. I know your favorite color, food, and animal too, Adam. We'll be friends forever, because I know all your shit. You know. The toy continued.
Your dad entered all your deepest secrets, even though we didn't ask.
I know how your mom died. Your dad told me not to tell, but I'll tell everyone. Funny thing was, Adam hadn't actually pressed his paw this time. Scott just said that on his own. I shook my head. Apparently today's technology was beyond me. As the weeks passed, Adam began to play with Scout progressively more and more. He would take the toy everywhere with him. To the store, to bed. He even tried to take it in the bath once or twice. About the only place that I didn't allow him to take Scout was the kitchen table. We have strict rules about toys at the table. My son is a picky eater, and distraction is the last thing he needs at mealtime. One Thursday night, Adam and I were eating dinner. Scout was around the corner in the laundry basket. He was getting played with so much and so often that I had to wash the thing at least every other week. We were having chicken and peas for dinner. Adam likes chicken all right, but he's never been big on peas. I don't know too many kids who were just big on, like, peas in general. Like,
Lincoln's weird. She loves peas, she loves green beans, she loves broccoli, but, like, steamed, like, not even made well.
What?
If I roast broccoli so it's caramelized and delicious, she doesn't want it.
I mean, like, peas were one of the first vegetables where I was like, well, I can eat them, but, like, I'm not going to be like, oh boy, peas.
Oh, so, no, if she's got a plate that's got peas and french fries and a cheeseburger on it, she'll eat the peas first.
I do that too, but that's to get the shitty part out of the way.
Yeah. No, that's the difference. She might not even touch the other stuff. She's weird. It won't last, and we're just enjoying it.
Send her to her room. That is unacceptable. You eat that burger and fries. You get big and fat like your father.
I think that's what she's doing. She's like, look, Dad, it's not that fucking hard to eat healthy. I can do it, and I'm 2.
It's very hard. It's probably easier when you're 2. You have nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
You don't know what it's like to eat fucking Hostess cakes for 10 years. Like, and then be suddenly told by a doctor, like, you need broccoli in your diet. It's like...
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at the grocery store, often my dinners after work would be like a bag of Doritos, a box of Little Debbie's whatevers, and like a half of a 12-pack of whatever pop I brought home.
Yeah, totally.
And in my day, you could get all that for $4.
Yeah.
But...
hey, you want me to have green shit? The Mountain Dew right here.
Right.
That was my approach to life for like 25 years.
I maintain the little red and blue specks on Cool Ranch Doritos are vegetable, I think.
Ranch has herbs in it. So anything that says ranch on it, you're good. That's green shit, baby.
Mm-hmm.
We're healthy eating. We're fucking meal prepping with a bag of Doritos. That particular evening, he was rolling them around on his plate and then squishing them into a thick green paste, which won't help Adam.
No, that doesn't.
Adam,
unless you're making mushy peas, and then you're English.
Yeah. I think the first time I had peas and I realized how harmless they were. I'm like a lot of shit, I mixed it into mac and cheese. And
I love putting peas in like mac and cheese or
pasta,
mashed potatoes, or pasta. Pasta is awesome. It freshens it up. You can. Welcome to the cooking hour with.
I mean, that's your trick. If you have veggies you hate, just mix it with some good shit.
Right. That's why cheesy broccoli is so fucking popular, because nobody likes broccoli, but everybody likes cheese. Bada bing, bada bang.
Bada bang.
Bada broccoli.
Hey. That's what I do on my cooking show. I have a stroke. Adam, aren't you going to eat those? I offered, pointing at his plate. He shook his head violently. No, I hate peas, he proclaimed. Come on, Adam, I coaxed. They'll make you big and strong. No, he yelled at the top of his lungs. I flinched and then stared at him. Adam, eat your peas, I commanded, losing. This took a dark turn. It's like a kid throwing a temper tantrum's one thing. You going into like, Adam, fucking eat your shit. You know?
I went and got the flail.
I commanded, losing my patience. Suddenly, from around the corner, a familiar voice could be heard. Adam doesn't like peas. The hair's on. I like that he's got a fucking bodyguard now.
I know.
He said no. The hairs on the back of my neck stood on end. I slowly got up from the table and walked over to where Scout was laying on the pile of dirty laundry. I reached for the toy and turned it over. I sighed heavily when I saw that the switch was on. I turned it off and went back to the dinner table. My son looked at me and grinned. Scout's right. I don't like peas. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean that you don't have to eat them. They're good for you, I reasoned. Adam shook his head. Scout says that if I don't want to do something, then I shouldn't. I was shocked by his comeback. Usually Adam was such a polite and respectful boy. It wasn't like him to talk back if he didn't get his way. I thought about what he said. Did that toy really tell him not to do things he didn't want to do? It seemed pretty far-fetched for several reasons. First of all, that was a terrible lesson to teach children. Would a company who designed toys for toddlers really install such a bad moral into their product? Nah, corporate America? Fuck.
Never.
Secondly, maybe it's just me. I've always been a bit of a technophobe, but was such a thing really possible? I mean, I had installed Scout Adam's favorite things. I had never mentioned the things he didn't like. How did Scout know that Adam didn't like peas? I was beginning to wonder more and more about my son's new favorite plaything, but the worst was yet to come. The months passed, and soon I found myself preparing Adam for school. He was really excited to be making new friends. as the only kid he played with was our next-door neighbor's son, Jim. Jim's mother and I had become close over the years, as we were both single parents. We regularly did everything together, our two sons tagging along, laughing and playing in the back seat of the car. On this particular outing, we were school shopping. Adam, as always, had Scout with him, lovingly pinned under his arm. He was joking and talking with Jim as we made our way through the expanse of the department store. After a few hours of shopping, we all stopped for lunch at the food court, and Jim's mother, Carol, listened with keen interest as Adam began to show off Scout to Jim.
They've been friends this whole time. He's never away from this toy, but he's just now showing it off.
I mean, it was probably like showing it off in front of Carol. They probably hung out and shit, but I mean, at this point, Scout is showing new abilities. It's like, look, Jim, he has a gun now.
He says, you try to make me eat pizza one more fucking time.
So help me God, Scout will blow this place to kingdom come. Oh, you got him one of those Scout toys, eh? Yeah, he can't leave home without it, I joked. Carol smiled, continuing to watch as Adam pushed the pause of his toy, listening to the clever phrases Scout delivered. Adam loves to play with Jim, the toy remarked. Carol smiled at me, a look of amazement in her wide eyes. No way, you programmed Jim's name in there for him? I mean, I had heard that the Scout things were programmable, but wow, that's amazing. I was as surprised as Carol, but for other reasons. I had never programmed Jim's name into Scout, because I never had the option. Yeah, it's an amazing little toy, I managed weakly. Scout's not a toy. He's a real dog. My dog. I stared at Adam, who had just raised his voice to me. My son had never done that before. He just wasn't a disobedient or rude kid. He also
sounds like it.
He sounds like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking Adam needs to go in the trash and keep Scout.
It sounds like this, parents, and I get it, but your kid's embarrassing you out in public, and you go, "Oh, he's never like this. We don't know. He's never done this before," and it's bullshit. They do it all the time, but you just want to try to convince everybody else that it's a one-time thing.
Yeah. Scout's not a toy. He's my dog, real dog. Everybody get a dog. He also wasn't the sort of kid to have a rampant imagination. I beat that out of him. No. And as much as he loves Scout, my Adam would never refer to a little green puppy toy as real. Well, you could have fooled me. I'm convinced that I need to buy one for Jim now, too. Carol laughed. Again, Scout piped up. I love making new friends. This prompted Carol to laugh some more. That's amazing. They must have put some sort of voice recognition software in there or something. She looked at me, as giddy as the children sitting across from us. We have to check out the toy section. I'm getting Jimmy one of those today. About a week after the school year had begun, Carol and I were having lunch together at my house. Adam and Jim were both away at school, and we were visiting as we often did, just hours before the final bell would ring, and we'd have to go and pick them up. I wanted to ask you something, Carol finally spoke. I could tell from the moment she knocked on my door that afternoon that something was wrong. Yeah, what is it? I was wondering if you could help me program Scout. I followed the instructions on the internet site, but I think I may have made a mistake. Huh? Why is that? I asked. Well, you know how Adam Scout knows Jim's name? Well, I don't know how to program specific information like that. It never gave me the option. I shuddered a bit. I didn't know how to tell Carol this. Sure, she was my best friend, but would she really believe me, even if I was telling the truth? I'd never been given the option either. Scout just started doing those things on his own. Carol looked at me in a very strange way. On his own? How is that possible? He's a toy. I can't explain it. He just starts commenting whenever Adam and I are talking, like he did at the department store that time. I didn't input Jim's name. Scout just knew it. I cringed, expecting my friend to laugh in my face, but she just smiled and shrugged. You know, I do have one theory. Did you buy that thing on the internet? I nodded. Ah, this might explain everything then. Show me the site where you bought Scout. What?
DemonToys.com? I knew it.
Oh, this is Toyporn.com, you fool. Why, I asked, growing curious. Well, I've heard that sometimes you can find special edition models of these toys online annually. You bought the Scout for Adam around Christmas. Maybe the toy was a promotional item. I felt a wave of relief sweep over my body at her words. That was probably it. It was haunted for Christmas. Like, why the fuck would that be good? Oh, good. I got the special one that's evil and fucked.
That's got military-grade artificial intelligence in it as a promotion.
That was probably it. That had to be it. I had been jumping to conclusions, making mounds out of molehills and such. I need to stop watching so many horror movies. Characters always say that, but how many people do you know watch too many horror movies? Like, that doesn't... I probably watch, like, maybe 2 or 3 horror movies a year. I don't go out of my way for them. But in every horror story, it's like, yeah, I probably need to just stop with all the fucking toy dog ghosts.
I don't know. I know a lot of people online that watch nothing but horror movies, and
they're not fathers.
Well, they don't just start assuming that like their butter knife is haunted because they watch too many of the movies. Like,
I booted up the computer for Carol and typed in the name of the website where I had initially purchased Scout. I waited as the page was taken to an oddly long time to load. When it finally did open, the page was all white with a simple message. It read, "Error, 403 forbidden." I sat back in the chair and looked at Carol, her glasses mirroring the computer screen. Well, that's not good. Maybe you could try the site you used to load Scout's USB information. I got up and retrieved Scout from his spot atop Adam's bed and re-plugged the USB cord. I attached the other end to my computer and waited. Finally, the loading page opened. Carol took one look at the primitive site and shook her head. No, this is wrong. The page I accessed had cartoon puppies on it. These are just stupid. These are stupid.
You're stupid.
That's a reoccurring Creepypasta line. I like it.
Yeah.
This is just stupid. There's only one explanation for this. Your Scout must be a fake. A fake? I retorted. A bit angry in the knowledge that I paid full price for a cheap imitation. A dad till the end.
A cheap imitation that has way more features than a real one. Like, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, watches your son sleep. What a great feature. That's a bonus. Yes, it happens. No-name companies try to sell bootleg toys and games on the internet in order to make a quick buck. Explains why the site was deleted. You probably weren't the only one to get ripped off. If they were going to sell a fucking bullshit toy, why would they create a website?
Well, and again, why would they make a toy that actually does anything? Like, it sounds like it's got more technology in it. Like, we made it extra expensive, or like our profit margin's in the negatives. This will work.
Carol looked up at the clock. Well, it's almost time to head out to get the boys. We can take care of this later. She headed back into the other room and grabbed her purse. I slowly slid away from the computer screen, still displaying those poorly designed painted puppies. I unplugged Scout from the computer and took him back to Adam's room. I sat him down on the bed and frowned. If this was just a cheap knockoff, why was it more advanced than Carol's copy of the genuine toy? What was going on here? The more I thought about it, the more concerned I became. The website hadn't merely been deleted. It had been forbidden. That's a dad till the end.
Yeah.
It hadn't been merely deleted. It's super deleted.
Super deleted. Forbidden.
As if it had once housed pornography. Like a tomb.
And because, pornography is well known to be forbidden from the internet.
Often forbidden.
I can't find any of that there. Go look somewhere else.
Or been a selling point for illegal drugs. Something about that website had been alarming enough to get it forbidden. The question was, what exactly? After the reveal of Adam's Scout being counterfeit, things began to get really weird. Over the next couple of days, I noticed that the toy's voice was becoming progressively deeper and distorted. It's like, Adam doesn't like peas. Go fuck yourself.
I told you 8 times, change my damn batteries.
For the last goddamn time. We're not eating any of those fucking peas. If you serve me peas again, I will cut your fucking head off. No. It almost sounded as if the batteries needed to be changed, but even after I did so, the toy still continued to talk that way. I asked Adam if he had gotten the toy wet outside or damaged it in any other way. He shook his head and told me that he had been playing with Scout the same as usual, being extremely careful and loving with it as he always was. Late one evening, after Adam had gone to bed, I was cleaning up the living room and I noticed that he had left Scout out. I thought that this was strange as he usually took the toy to bed with him. I shrugged and picked up the toy. What happened next was something that I desperately want to forget. You should mind your own business, Scout said.
Tell everybody you touched me there. Oh.
I nearly dropped the toy as it said this. I knew in an instant what it was referring to. That fake site that Carol and I had stumbled across. I stood there, paralyzed in terror, and Scout spoke again. Adam shouldn't be around you anymore. You're nosy and bad. I'm going to take him away from you. I screamed and threw down Scout. I don't know why I'm going with the pervy dirtbag voice, but I love it.
I like it. Yeah.
And the toy fell silent again. That toy, that horrible demonic thing, was after my son. I had to save him by put him in the trash.
Right.
So far, nothing truly supernatural has happened. You always have to start there. If it can get out of the trash, then it escalates.
Then you're in trouble. Yeah, well, then you melt it, and if it still shows back up, then you're fucked.
Yeah. The next morning, I walked my son down to the bus stop. I was exhausted. After what happened the night before, I hadn't been able to get any sleep. I watched as the yellow school bus pulled into view. Adam was very excited. Today was show and tell at his elementary school, and he was finally going to be able to take Scout to school with him. Or so he thought. As the bus pulled to a halt, I took my beloved boy by the hand. Adam, I don't know how to tell you this, but Scout can't come with you to show and tell. Adam backed away, clutching the toy to his chest. He had a horrible look of resentment in his eyes that I shall never forget. What? Why not? He bleated. He bleated. I still your fucking kid is a farm animal.
Why not?
What? I gently tried to pry the toy from his vice-like grasp. He's just not safe anymore, honey. He needs to go. Adam pulled his...
absolutely love the decision to do this at school.
Right at the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
You had the toy that night. I don't know. The look in his eyes disturbed me. He was looking at me as if I were a complete stranger. Scout is my best friend. He told me that you would try and ruin our friendship. I stared at him. He told you? Adam, what do you mean he told you? I tried to comfort my son, but by this point he was hysterical. He backed away from me, still holding Scout. I'm going to run away and live with Scout. Fucking where? Take that bet. That was what my mom would do. She'd be like, oh, you're going to run away? Good luck with that.
Have fun.
Yeah. Because she knew me. She was like, you, more than anything, you love comfort. I won't let you take him away from me, Adam declared. It was fucking typical whiny bitch kid. Hey, he's my Scout. You can't have him. I love him. Adam declared, backing out into the street. Adam! I screamed, mortified by what was happening. With the school bus in the way, I couldn't see the oncoming car as it illegally sped past. It hit Adam, slamming his tiny body to the side of the road. The other parents rushed to my side as I ran to see if my boy was okay. Even the bus driver got off the bus. What a hero.
I like that. Yeah, they say that
I have had bus drivers that wouldn't fucking move if a fucking gunman was on the bus. But I began to dial for an ambulance, but it was too late. My son was dead. Scout was lying beside him. His battery pack had been crushed under the tires. The battery pack crackled and garbled until finally Scout fell silent alongside him. Scout did encourage my child to act along with him, and he continued to do so for the rest of his life. It's a pretty fucking dark ending for most of the setup of that.
But again, it's on the dad for waiting till school to take the dog away.
Yeah, I mean, totally. And also, it's a child. You can overpower him.
Yeah.
Just rip the fucker out of his hands.
I don't know. I'm the kind that would sneak in at night when they're asleep, take it, burn it in the woods, and then be like, I don't know what happened to Scout. He must have ran away.
I'd be like, you can keep Scout, but I'm going to piss on it every day for as long as you have him. So, enjoy your toy.
Your toy smells like piss, son.
Hey, yeah, bring it to show and tell. They'll ask, why does it smell like your dad's fucking alcoholic dehydrated piss? So, but I thought that was pretty well written. I thought the beginning was a pretty strong start, I'm not one to get sentimental easily, but it was like, wow, this dad loves his fucking kid.
Okay. There was a little bit of the too much detail, and then part of it was two assholes that kept interrupting the story with their own comments. But
this show would be a lot quicker if we just shut up.
And the story, I like that we ruin the stories and then bitch about how the stories are good.
It's like, what the fuck is this crap?
But no, I did like that one.
Why is it so slowly paced? As we're talking for an hour and a half.
Right. I like, though, that it was clearly like a possessed toy story, which is, it's not unexpected where that goes. But I did like, you don't like it because it is kind of a horrible dark ending, but I like that it wasn't, it would have been too cliche for the dog to kill the dads in some way.
Yeah. And
the other thing, and it was sudden, which is what you want. You want that kind of surprise, It didn't draw out the conclusion. It was just like, why? What do you do? And then my son was ran over like a pancake at the end. And I couldn't help but keep having flashbacks to Heavy Rain. But
you're a true poet.
Yeah. Everybody ran to my side. Some people started pouring.
His robot dog became a flapjack by Steve Gibson.
Bystanders started pouring syrup on him, and I was like, stop, that's my son. But it was too late. They were eating him. Delicious. No, I liked it in general, except for I get it's supposed to be kind of the out of touch dad, but I couldn't get over how much just this toy did this relatively common thing.
That's the thing. All this shit exists in a variety of forms now. It's
now I get it being to a point. There's a difference between getting a toy and that can recognize things you say and kind of spit them back at you, and it being like a sentient being. And I get that, but it wasn't necessarily written that way. It's just how did it know that word? I never put it into the internet computer. And it's things have microphones now. They listen.
Yeah. You're always being listened to. I assume you have a phone. It's the same idea.
But
yeah,
overall I liked it. Yeah,
it was a fun time. We had a fun time here today. Write in and talk about how much fun you had.
If you liked the show this week, please tweet us a memory of your favorite Christmas toy and how it nearly killed you.
If you like this show, please write in about what you like best about me.
Is it my eyes?
Tell me I'm very funny. Please tell me I'm funny.
God, I don't know if there's anything that would be almost worse for somebody to say. I
have a lot of people at work that have told me I'm funny, and it makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
because because it is one of those few things where it's I don't really have a proper response. I'm usually pretty humble about shit, but to me it's awkward because it's one, I know, two, and
it's
two,
awkward because I'm so egotistical.
Yeah, but it's I've made enough people laugh that I know I'm a funny person, but also it's awkward because it's okay, now the expectation is I have to be funny.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And
is
it's I'm more just wait for it to happen.
It's weird because you insult me. Most things that people can insult you with, some of them sting, but a lot of them you're just whatever. What's worse to me is when somebody compliments you on something that you kind of want to be because if you follow my Twitter, you know, I like to try to be funny, and occasionally I'm successful. But then when somebody like says like, "Wow, you're funny," it's like I don't know how to react to that.
Luckily, I'm always there to be like, "Boo."
Yeah. No, he's fucking not. Listen to the show.
Anytime like I think you might get a compliment, I'm there to deflect.
I need that.
I'm the Mutombo of Steve compliments. I'll just swat that shit away. It's
good. It keeps me grounded.
It's the whole dynamic of the show. So that's the story this week. That's the show this week. That's the thing this week. I'm the thing this week. And you can be the thing this week too.
But only if you eat your peas.
Eat your fucking peas. I'll know. Next week I'll know. Next week I'll read off the Patreon subs who ate their peas.
And the ones who didn't.
And the ones who didn't, I'll fucking kick in the ass.